Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Ballmeister.
And we've got a Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Rob will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. We are wrapping up our first day exploring Zendikar Rising because the previous season has started. And I think we've definitely saved the sweetest decks for last.
Definitely the sweetest. I don't know if these are the best decks.
Nobody knows what the best decks are, but we know what decks are the sweetest.
We sure do.
On that, this is the best deck.
So far, I mean, yeah, that's the card that's excited me the most.
It does a lot of things.
But your deck here, I think, looks really awesome. It has they forced this kind of mechanic. So, this is something that should be pretty obvious to people. And just a lot of good Orzhov cards. And, I mean, I've loved those, Ghost Dad style decks, right? Promise of Boonray, Ghost Council deck, whatever, 8 Tails. That was, one of my favorite decks of all time. So it's given me some kind of feels just playing that color combination.
I'm going to be playing Abzan Clerics, and Taborax is actually the card that I've written about this week. I believe my article will go up tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll shift in the schedule for this week. A card that I think is really interesting because flying on this kind of effect, like any sort of evasion we haven't seen. Midnight Reaper, Liliana, Standard Bearer, they all have kind of mediocre bodies, and it's hard to really get them into combat effectively. A Standard Bearer, you get your value up front, so it's fine. But with this card, you can get your army on the ground and then that in the air, send in everything, and it's really hard for them to block on the ground. And you spend your other resources dealing with creatures in the air.
Sure.
The fact that it gets bigger, in addition to sometimes drawing cards, lets you apply more pressure, which these decks can sometimes struggle with.
Yeah.
And there's enough clerics to fill everything out. And I think the key is Cleric of Life's Blood, which is, sort of an Ajani's Pride Mate. It doesn't grow as fast because it's only the first time you gain life on a given turn.
Okay.
But it starts out as 2-minute 2/2. It doesn't need to grow that fast to get good. And it has the other half of the Soul Sisters combo, that Soul Warden ability just for clerics built in. So you don't need to have both pieces to get everything going. You literally just need Cleric of Life's Bond and clerics.
Yeah.
So much easier to assemble.
Is that Nighthawk card a cleric as well?
It's a Vampire Rogue.
It's a Vampire Rogue. I think you're missing out on that card. You played 2 black decks where I just think that card is going to be bananas.
Well,
it can get so big.
My deck is already pretty glutted on 3s.
Sure.
Because one of the key cards is Veto, Thorn of Dusk Rose. So anytime you're gaining life with the cleric, anytime you're, this can get lifelink, this has a lifelink. Heliod gives things lifelink, so you're gaining a ton of life. And then Heliod lets you, put a bunch of +1/+1 counters around.
Yeah, you're going to have some triggers, that's for sure.
That figures in our Green Splash for Conclave Mentor.
Oh, baby.
Putting counters around or getting counters on Cleric of Life's Bond. It's doubling all those counters. It's a cleric itself. It gains life when it dies.
Why not be a cleric? Sure, green-white clerics. That's very common in Magic. That makes sense.
So, there's a lot of things going on in this deck. There might be a few too many things.
Okay.
Which is actually fine for right now because then you figure out which things are that you want to stress, which things you want to pair away from.
I like it.
We've got plenty more life gain with Speaker of the Heavens and Archfiend's Vessel, both cheap clerics. This thing, it's pretty easy, I think, for me to get to 27 and start actually activating Speaker and then really going to the air.
Yep.
So a lot of cool synergies going on here with all the different clerics. Definitely more of a Soul Sister style deck than like an Aristocrats deck, which is what I initially tried to do with Taborax, but the pieces aren't really there.
Would we be Soul Brothers since we're, playing this here?
Only if you play this deck too.
Okay, makes sense.
Could you be Soul Skaters? Is that anybody get that reference?
I like it. So from my end here, speaking of synergies here, I'm trying to make Confounding Conundrum work. This is a card I think is pretty good. You're not the deck that's abusing this, and it's going to naturally do something against what your deck does. So this is going to be a test for the card to see if it's remotely playable in a deck where you're not Urrowing, you're not trying to do stuff. You have Fabled Passage, and it messes with your passages, and I have Field of Ruins, which messes with you as well. And then I'm a Yorion deck just to blink it, to have surface value just be a pretty good card already.
When you're a Yorion deck, you're in the market for cheap permanents that cantrip.
Exactly.
And if that one has an ability with really high upside in certain matchups, even if there are matchups where the ability isn't that relevant, that's still fine because you're
Exactly.
mainly playing it as a 2-mana enchantment that draws a card.
Exactly. And I mean, the whole MO of our deck here is we are a Dance of the Man Stank, for anybody who remembers this, and we do have the Doom Foretold theme. So cards like this, we're happy to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. We're going a little bit different way because I didn't want to try the rats and stuff that Orzhov Doom Foretold was doing. So we're really focusing on the enchantments, and some of them here we had to scrape the bottom of the barrel because we lost a few decent ones. But then also just running a good chunk of Jaces, the Pathways here, which are going to be sweet, and then just a nice little Duress card that's also a Swamp on the flip side. So those are our new cards, and we'll see how it works.
Okay, I have lost both matches today, so Marble's staying over there. And I will be on the play for this game.
It's been a good week for Core. Team Corey here. All right. And I mean, yeah, I had to bring at least one Yorion deck to this new set and we also might have to turn that Omnath deck into a Yorion deck. Just think about blinking that Omnath. I guess you just draw cards. It's not that great, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, just keep drawing more cards. You'll get there eventually.
Turn 4, Omnath. Turn 5, Fabled Passage, Yorion it. I don't know, play another whatever you want.
I'm going to try this hand out even though I'm not really thrilled with it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep as well.
I'll lead on a Fable Passage.
Okay.
You're up.
All right. Why not save those Fabled Passages for later? Okay, so I'm just going to play an island and pass to you.
An island.
And then be on the lookout, Rob. I don't know what some of my cards do, so I'm going to need some help. Mostly this one.
It's obviously the most difficult one in the deck.
Yes, I
can't
agree.
blame you.
I will, right on time, get my 1/1 into play
Okay.
and pass the turn.
All right. That was not a good draw. So I'm going to start with Confounding Conundrum.
Sure.
All right, here go.
Okay. Boulder Loft Pathway will enter as itself to make
Okay.
another white. And then I can play Basri Cat.
Okay.
And I think I'm just going to -2 to get another token onto the battlefield. So let's do that.
Okay.
Get a soldier. So that's
And then you got Vigilance there,
yeah,
too.
Vigilance,
So
yeah.
I'll go to 18.
You'll go to 18. I'll go to 21.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
All right, 21. All right, moment of truth. What's the other side of this? Is it the blue-black or is it black-white?
Bright Climb is probably white.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I think
Bright Climb has to be white.
Bright Climb. Yeah, that would make sense, huh?
Yeah.
I know they have black-white and blue-black, though, and they're both in my deck.
No, they're not naming the black side of it Bright Climb.
Yeah, just a quick Google of Grime Climb Pathway, just to be sure.
Why does Wizards have to make it difficult for us?
Oh, yeah. They do it specifically to hit us. Bright Climb. Sorry, everyone. These preview things are
It's the
tricky.
black-white land.
You positive? All right. Well, that's worse. So which side do we want this to come in on? Okay, so we gotta have black, and we'll play Treacherous Blessing.
Okay, draw 3.
1, 2, 3.
Discarding hand size.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna discard another one.
No
of
wonder I
those.
couldn't find it. It's Grime Climb, not
Okay. Let's
or
discard
Grim,
that.
not Grime. Grim. That's why I couldn't find it because I looked
Here
at
you
the
go.
wrong
I
way.
just drew a Bright Climb Pathway, so
Okay, all right.
Confirmed.
Problem solved. So I get to discard some enchantments here, so it's not so bad that this isn't the ideal time to play it, but
Okay. So I'm gonna. Is yours a black land?
black. Yep.
Okay, mine is also gonna be black.
Okay. Yeah, we trust you.
Yeah, we had some around somewhere. There's a million of them though.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
There we go. And
These are tricky, chat. These are tricky.
How do I want to play this turn? I've got some options.
Options.
Yes, options.
I hate that.
I think what I really just want to do is insulate myself against removal.
Okay.
So I'm going to play Luminous Broodmoth.
Spicy.
I'm going to put a counter on the speaker.
Okay.
And I will attack for 3.
Take it, and that's when you have how much life?
7 more than my starting.
Okay. So you're at...
So you go to 15, I go to 23.
Yep.
And then I will pass the turn.
All right. Yes. Well... I don't have any great plays here, unfortunately. You creating 4/4 angels is a big problem, so I do gotta kind of shut that down. Let's go with... I will play this land, and I'm gonna face fetters. I think I want to hit this creature, but it could also be Boss Riquette. Both are pretty decent targets. Yeah, let's go with this.
So you're going to lose 1 from the blessing,
Yep.
and then gain 4 to 18.
Go to 18, yep, and I'll pass to you.
Okay, so Boulder Loft and Branch Loft Pathway are going to be this is the white-green. So I'm going to play a Boulder Loft Pathway. I don't need more than 1 green mana.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a Heliod.
Okay.
I'm going to give the Broodmoth lifelink.
Okay.
I'm going to put a counter on... I don't think I need to gain, extra life. I think I'll just rather diversify my threats.
Sure.
Put a counter on the token, attack you for 5.
13 to 26?
13 to 26, and then when I gain life, the Heliod triggers.
Okay.
I'll put another counter on the Iron Bitch.
Makes sense.
Pass the turn.
All right. It's not a great draw. But I think we're going to play it. Try to set up for something big here. This is not going our way so far, but I'll play Timmerick Calls the Dead.
So you lose 1, go to 12.
Yep. 1, I'm going to get a 2/2 top 3.
You got to exile an enchantment or a creature to get
Yep.
your 2/2.
All right. Yeah, let's get rid of Confounding Conundrum. Get a 2/2. I'm going to play a land. Scry. And pass to you. Bottom this.
Okay, I will play Veto, Thorn of the Dusk Rose.
Mother of God. Am I just dead? Probably.
You're 1 short.
Okay.
I will put a counter on the Broodmoth.
Yeah, Heliod can attack as well.
Yeah, I will slam into you. You go to chump the Heliod.
Yep.
I will give Luminous Broodmoth a lifelink. So yeah, if I had gone more aggressive last turn, I would have killed you this turn.
Okay.
But I still think I'm fine.
Yeah.
So you're going to take 7 from combat, and then 4 when I gain 4 life with the Veto.
Down to 3.
I go to 30, and no, you're down to 1.
Oh.
You take 7 from combat, and then 4 more.
Oh, yep. Okay. All right.
And
1.
the Heliod triggers, I'll put a counter on the Veto, I guess.
Okay.
And I'll pass the turn. Or, well, play Castle Ardenville, pass the turn.
Well, I can't cast a spell now with Treacherous Blessing, so I lose.
Oh, yeah, putting you to 1, I guess, is good enough.
And I think I actually missed draining myself this last spell I played anyway, so I think you had me dead.
No, I remembered it.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes one of us. Yeah, I was gonna Yori and have a great turn where I blink this, get 2 2/2s, draw a card, draw 4 cards, gain 4 life, but just not enough. I have to be able to deal with your early aggression. Wrath is going to be important. Had to get more stuff on the board. One really big hit that this deck lost is Othakaya.
Yeah.
Othakaya was huge. That card is so good to blink. So it is a bit of a struggle, but yeah, some cool stuff, and I was on the verge of doing some really, really nice stuff, but didn't quite get the synergies there, and your stuff looked great.
The aggro beatdowns got you just in time.
Gotta love it. Love it.
Important that your Fate's Fetters wasn't able to really take out a bigger creature of mine. Had to go for the 1-drop there.
Yep.
Because the 1-drop was going to start pumping out 4/4s.
Yep,
so
yep. And I don't pressure your life enough where that thing is just going to take over. Yeah, that thing's going to be great against like blue-white control, Esper, this deck.
Yeah.
Anything that's not trying to attack you right away.
Yeah, just it in combination with Bassery means that you're getting to 27 that much faster and putting them under pressure, but a sweeper doesn't do anything.
So do you think Broodmoth now is finally the time to shine? Because we didn't see it at all, and that was one of the cards we were pretty hyped on,
Yeah, I'm not even sold like that Broodmoth is that good in this deck. It's mainly here for wrath protection because you're not sacrificing your own creatures.
Yeah.
But it's mainly here just to protect the high value threats, and that's sort of the point. Like this deck just puts so many really important threats into play that eventually some of them have to sneak through. Conclave Mentor, when you think of that card and decks that take advantage of it, it is a card that you need to kill on sight.
Yeah.
Veto and decks that take advantage of it, you need to kill on sight. And Cleric of the first bond, Cleric of, I don't know, whatever. The
new one,
That card can get out of hand. The 1-drop can get out of hand. So many creatures that you just have to kill on sight. And when you have Broodmoth, now you got to kill the Broodmoth on sight or they all start coming back.
And I have like some ECDs and stuff that'll help me a little bit. But yeah, so far that didn't look great. Okay. All right, so this one at Bright Climb. Wait, is that the same thing?
Yeah.
Bright Climb is black-white? Okay. All right. Do I have only black-white in here? Maybe I was just wrong on that, huh?
Yeah, you could see differences. The break on pathway and clear water pathway.
Okay.
You have blue, black, and black, white.
Yep. The sand is pretty medium. But I think it's good enough that I'll keep it. Yeah, we'll try it.
I will keep as well.
All right, I'm going to play Cavern here and pass to you. It is just a swamp.
I will play Fable Passage and pass.
I cannot find another one, so we'll have to let it slide. Temple. I will bottom this and pass to you. Try to find this real quick.
You being on the play could be really important here.
I think it is, but my hand is not very good.
That's good.
Yeah. I'll put this pathway here.
I'll play a Plains and a Cleric of Life's Bond.
Okay, which one is that again?
So when a Cleric enters on my control, I gain a life, and when I gain a life for the first time each turn, gets a counter.
First turn is definitely big. All right, let's go with... I am going to go with the plain side. And I am going to take a peek at your hand. Choose a card with the converted mana cost 3 or greater.
3 or greater?
Yep.
Okay, so you get my Taborax.
Okay.
Other cards are Daxos and Archfiend's Vessel.
Okie dokie.
Is it discard?
Discard, yep.
Good.
Your go. Play with those revealed, please.
Okay, well, I guess I will be playing the white side of this.
Thank God it's only first time. This thing would just get giant here with Daxos. So you gain a total of...
I'm just going to play a Heliod and get in for 2.
Okay. 18.
You can go.
Okay.
I think this allows me more flexibility on the coming turns.
That makes sense.
And if I draw another white creature to play with this Daxos, then...
Then it's on.
Oh, boy.
Then fan me down, huh? Okay, we got a Treacherous Blessing.
Okay. I like this. The turn that Corey took off the previous game is really key for me establishing control of the game.
Yeah,
See if the same is true here.
All right, I'll play Plains and pass to you. 7 cards.
Oh, baby.
I'm scared.
We are doing it.
I'm scared.
So I'm going to play this as a Bright Climb pathway.
Okay.
And play a Daxos.
Okay.
Then I will play Speaker of the Heavens.
Okay.
So that's going to have me gaining 2 life.
Okay.
But it's in separate instances. So I have 2 Heliod triggers and a Cleric trigger.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay. That's disgusting.
then this is in my hand. And I already know, I guess I also have this Archfiend's Vessel I could play.
That will only, or that'll just trigger one more time, right?
It'll trigger the Cleric, yeah. And then, well, it'll trigger the Cleric to get a counter and then trigger the Heliod.
No, it's only the first time, right?
Well, it'll trigger a life gain for, so
It'll trigger a life gain for both then, right?
Yeah,
so you'll get
it's
two
more,
Heliods?
yeah, it's 2 more counters again.
Jesus. Thank God you don't have Cat Oven anymore. That would just be so degenerate.
So right now, this is already 8, and I have 2 Heliod triggers left to do, and this gets 2 more, so I could just 12 you.
Wow.
I will.
Oh yeah, you can attack with Heliod.
Yeah, Heliod's attacking.
Wow, that was a nice draw then.
Yeah, I could just 12 you and be like, you're at 6, force you to have a Wrath, and then you'd be at 5. You need to have Wrath into some life gain.
I got that all. I'm feeling good.
I mean, I'd rather have the Vessel in the graveyard anyway, I think, though I don't really have ways to bring it back. It's actually not very good in the deck. I have Aura.
But you get to scare people, yeah.
Yeah, I am going to play it. I'm just figuring out where I want to put the counters.
Okay.
I'm going to put 3 of them on the Heliod and 1 of them on the Cleric.
Okay.
So, and then get in for 12.
Wow, okay, down to 6.
You can go.
Luckily, I do have the Wrath. But we still just an Orzhov deck here. We do not have all the right mana. So, all right, Shatter.
So you're going to go to 5 for
Yep.
Blessing. I'm going to draw a card from the Shatter.
Yep, and pass to you.
And, wow, it's going to deal so much damage to you next turn. Veto.
Okay.
You can go.
Okay. How can I do this most effectively? So, all right. I think I have to play my cards here.
If you could play 4 of them,
4, that's maybe too many.
maybe.
All right, I think these are the ones I have to play. Hope I don't die, but I die to a lot of stuff, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to go to 3, and then play these, get the planes, and pass to you.
So you're going to go to 3.
Yep. Now you got to sack something.
So upkeep, I will activate, give Veto lifelink, and
Okay.
sack the Heliod.
Okay.
Draw for turn.
Yep.
Then I will attack you for 1.
2.
Or do I want to do that? Yeah, before I attack, I'm actually going to get a forest and oh no, this is white. I have to get a swamp.
Okay.
So I'll get a swamp. I'll play Heliod.
Okay, looks like I get to live at least. I'm going to be going to 1.
Corey's going to be going to 1. I'll put the counter on
You're going to go to 23, right?
Yes, 1 to 23. From Veto. Veto deals the damage, and then I gain a life off that.
Yep.
It has lifelink. And then the Heliod triggers. That'll get a counter on the Veto.
Okay.
So you are at 1, and I will pass the turn.
All right, so I'll sacrifice a Treacherous Blessing, believe it or not. And then I'll get an L4 wall. I don't think these are really going to be good enough. So you're going to sack something, but you're going to gain life, and you can just kill me with the Veto. You can just sack Heliod.
Yeah, need some sort of removal spell or life gain here.
Something, yeah.
Blockers will not do it.
I do not have much going on here. I guess I can cycle into like another Doom Foretold. That's decent, but I think that's all I have. Yikes. Okay. Cycle. Yeah, it's not going to do it. Not going to do it. I have Timurit Calls the Dead, but a blocker doesn't do it there either.
Blockers are not relevant.
Yeah, I'm dead. I had Jace early. I really didn't have too much going on, except that I was going to have a lot to sack for Doom Foretold and eat your stuff away there, but I just needed a little bit more life. Even, next turn gaining 2 life there, and
that one really explosive turn before you got to Shatter dealt enough damage.
Yeah, that was absurd. And honestly, I had the Shatter, so if you didn't play the Heliod the one turn and just went double creature, I Shatter, game's over. And so you drawing the Heliod was really, really good, because it just made my play a lot worse, but yeah, that's too bad. Well, we didn't really get to see any of my cool stuff from the deck, but that's just because your deck was pressuring me a lot, and I don't have a ton of reaction. I have some eliminates, but didn't get to see the Dance of the Man synergies. We were starting to pop off with the Doom Foretold and stuff, but yeah, it's too small of a sample size to know if this deck is good and or bad, but
we've seen decks like this. We know the kind of powerful things that they're capable of doing if they get to the late game, but you weren't really able to do that, and I think you were right in your point that you brought up earlier. The loss of Oath of Kaya really big in your ability to stabilize against aggressive decks. Just early spot removal that you can blink with Yori and sacrifice to Doom Foretold. That little bit of life gain was super valuable in these decks. And definitely a big loss here. And it showed.
Agreed. And if we didn't get to our sideboard games because we're a little behind, but this is a card that I was going to get to be able to bring in, as well as just enchantment removal that goes to the graveyard, and then I can bring back with Dance of the Manslayer. It's pretty cool value play. Even if you like dance for 2, just bring 2 of these back, kill 2 creatures. You don't get the sick ability, but still pretty cool interaction. And Elspeth's Nightmare, I hasn't really seen much play, but I think this card is really good, and it's going to be good against you. You don't have that many sorceries and stuff, and I guess the Exile Graveyard isn't that good. So, but blinking this to destroy 2-drops and stuff is pretty sweet.
Yeah, you just want removal spells that you can blink and get those synergies going. You can even sacrifice before it goes off to Doom Foretold. Any permanent-based removal is going to be good. Yeah.
Well, the one thing I'm sad about is I don't get to go home and start sweeping outside and start talking trash that I swept raw. So we'll have to give you that one win. But all right, so closing thoughts on Zendikar Rising so far. What impressed you? What didn't impress you?
I mean, certainly Omnath, the most impressive card so far.
Same.
That you know the card reads powerfully. Yeah. And the downside is supposed to be, well, it's really difficult to cast. 4 colors of mana, but it felt trivial for you to cast that card.
Easy.
Yeah.
Cultivate, Triomes, Lotus Cobra, all of the Fabled Passage, all of these make it very, very easy. And I think the thing to do with that card is to do exactly what I did, lean on a 3-color deck. Like I was playing Genesis Ultimatum. It was very clear I was a teamer deck. And then just, incidentally add Triomes that add white as well, have Fabled Passage in 1 planes, and it's enough. That's enough, And same thing goes with a Jeskai deck. Maybe I played Jeskai Ultimatum. You put that 1 green in, it's a little tougher because green is the way that we're cultivating and stuff like that, but that kind of stuff is not impossible, so that card really impressed me as well.
Yep. So that's definitely the star of the show. The Cleric stuff looked cool. I think in the face of more targeted disruption, there would be some problems there.
Yep.
So you'd have to figure out what those problems are and organize around it, but the synergies there are really powerful.
Yep.
And in particular, you just have so many must-kill threats. I really like that out of an aggro deck.
Like a Sultai-style deck, which we're going to see once the metagame starts to become more refined. We're going to see decks that maximize interaction and try to go away from proactive, active synergies, because that's just what Standard becomes about, right? It's active synergies, and it's just like what kind of removal is good against certain things. And I could just see, if the Standard Sultai decks from last season would pick apart this deck, just eliminates and,
Extinction events.
Exactly. So something like that would scare me with that as well. But if that's not the world we're going to live in, because we don't really know, how powerful the decks are truly going to be, I could see something like that being really good.
You can pare back from some of the synergies going on here and have disruption of your own and some sticky threats. Maybe you play more Luminous Broodmoths, or, you can play Call of the Death Dweller. Go to the Archfiend's Vessel. You've got lots of good 1s and 2s to target, along with high value 3s.
Yeah.
So stuff like that can help you play through Disruption. Like
and the 150 cards that aren't spoiled yet of the set, could also help this as well.
Definitely get an extra Cleric coming. But right now, those synergies are really cool. I think Cleric of the First Bond. What is the name of this thing?
Cleric of Life's Bond.
Yeah.
Life's Bond,
I think this card is just very good. Like we've seen these synergies be good, and this card has both halves of them in one. And it's not as explosive when you get it going, but it doesn't need to be that explosive. Just getting it to a 4/4 or 5/5 and doing it without having to put Soulwarden in your deck.
Or Sunhawk or whatever, you know, right? Yeah.
Instead, I'm playing Archfiend's Vessel that can come back as a 5/5 and a 1/1 lifelinker that starts making 4/4s.
You know what this deck really wants? It's just Sorin. The 4-mana black-white Sorin, that card would be bananas in there. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of cool stuff to try. I loved Omnath the most as well. But a lot of other cool stuff that we think is interesting. First deck I want to try that I just didn't really have, we didn't have room with this thing, is the new Nissa. So if your new Nissa fans really want to, just miss Nissa being on battlefields all the time, don't worry. We'll be bringing it to you Tuesday. And of course, that's going to be our show on Tuesday. We are going to be playing more Zendikar Rising previews there. Going to be exciting stuff. As well, before we thank sponsors and subs, we do have qualifiers. They're not going right now, though, right? We're in the blackout time.
Yeah, there's no more qualifiers for right now.
No more qualifiers till the event?
I don't actually know when they start back up.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well,
we'll have that information for Thursday, though.
Gotcha. We'll have that information for you later that you can check on the Twitter account. But Monday is going to be the historic event.
Yeah, it's going to be on Labor Day, so you can take advantage of that 3-day weekend with a little bit of magic. If you're qualified, both Corey and I will see you on the virtual tables there. And if you're not qualified, we hope you join us as a viewer. It'll be right here on this channel starting at 10 a.m. that day.
Exactly. And it just doesn't matter who's doing coverage. I just love all the pairs. The newest one I'm in love with, mostly because I just missed him so much, is Michael Majors and Brian Gottlieb, just because Majors is my buddy. I haven't seen him since he went to go work for Wizards, so it was nice to hear his analysis. But we've talked with Majors plenty. He's just so good at that kind of breaking down, standard, breaking down big picture stuff.
So in particular, I think he's very good early in formats, and Historic is a format that hasn't been super explored yet. He just has such a natural insight into the fundamentals of how Magic works, and he can recognize when shells that, even if they're not super refined, if there's something really powerful there, he's really good at that.
100%. He was probably the biggest asset on our pro testing team, just because he came up with all these decks, the initial shells. There's so many of them that it was hard to be like, okay, which one's good? There's just so many decks. But I remember 4-color Copycat combo. He had that super early, and we ended up not even playing it. But we're fools.
Oops.
Anyways, let's thank some subs, let's thank some sponsors, and let's get out of here.
All right, so Heptagon gifted 3 subs today.
Only 3, Heptagon? Come on. Serious?
Ban him.
Yeah, get him out of here.
You've set the bar too high.
Yes. We're kidding, buddy. Thank you.
Estini GG for 4 months. Arc Magus Colin for 6 months. Papa John's Napkins for 29 months. And Heptagon themselves for 7 months.
Okay. Heptagon, you're coming back into our graces there. So only 60% of the subs this time, Heptagon, not stepping up your game. I'm totally kidding. Thank you so much, Heptagon, and everybody else who gifted subs. We really appreciate it.
Okay, and if you would like to support Star City Games in another way, you can join Premium. You head on over to starcitygames.com/join-premium, and for $7.99 a month, you will gain access to exclusive content as well as several other perks. You will get 5% off of sealed product, 10% off of singles, and 15% off of supplies.
Oh, yeah. So go ahead and subscribe today. And if you like to beat Ross Merriam on the battlefield, but you don't want to stand and do it, head on over to Karnox Carnox.com/SCG. You can use that affiliate link to get yourself 10% off one of these awesome gaming chairs.
And last but not least, we are sponsored by Coalesce Apparel. If you like the shirts that we wear, you can find their entire collection at coalesceapparel.shop. And be sure to use the gift code SCG to get 10% off of your purchase as well.
Love it. You love the Bolt U one, don't you?
I love me a good bolt snap bolt.
Yeah, I love it. This one's cool too. I'm a fan.
Boros has good iconography. If only their decks were ever good.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I beat you with a Boros deck today. Boom.
Every Boros deck is basically just a mono red deck that has Boros Charm in it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that doesn't really count.
Or Luris now, that's the 2020 version.
You're just a mono red deck. Stop. Who are you trying to?
Exactly. Who are you kidding here? So, all right, everyone. I want to thank you so much for watching. Watching our very first Zendikar Rising preview show. You best believe we're going to be doing a lot of these shows coming up because new Magic cards. Come on, new Magic cards. It's going to be awesome.
Got a lot to explore. A lot.
Exactly. So thank you, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate you. We will be back Tuesday at our normal time on 1 p.m. Eastern time right here. So for Corey, Ross, Rob, see you then.